people can't pass a hit back. Get on top, get on top, get on. I want to get on the good foot. I want to do it with the good foot. Get on the good foot. Good foot. Going down to the creek, let all hang out.
Let it all hang out, because we're going down where? With James Brown, the late JB. The movie is out, my friend, so make sure you go and see it. I had a chance to see it last night, and I'll tell you, it's a good movie. So go check it out this weekend and enjoy yourself, okay? Here we go again, talking with yours truly, Dr. Daddio, the show that comes your way every Saturday from 3 until 5 p.m. right here on Real Talk 760. And you can go online and get this program all over the world at am760.com. Or you can download an iHeartRadio app on your smartphone and carry this program and this station everywhere you go, and it's absolutely free. Joining me now to continue the conversation about education is none other than Superintendent Rico Munn. He is a new Aurora Public School Superintendent, and Superintendent Munn, welcome to Talking to yours truly, Dr. Daddio.
Thank you, Dr. Daddio. It's an honor to be here.
And I just want to congratulate you, brother, for that accomplishment, and I know things are going to be great. Let's get started with you telling us a little bit about your background and what you bring to the system.
Well, I came to the system a little over a year ago. We just hit my one-year anniversary, July 1st. I've come from a variety of places and backgrounds. I'm a lawyer by training, but I also have a degree in secondary education, and I served some time on the Colorado State Board of Education. I also served as the head of the Department of Higher Education, overseeing our state's college and university system.
Well, now that you've gotten that opportunity and you've had the experience, what are some of the things that you'll be bringing? Will be offering, because now you've had a year to kind of work this deal out and get some things under control. What are some of those things that you've brought to the system and the kind of changes you might have made?
Well, at APS, my job is to accelerate learning for every APS student every day. And one of the things that we did early on was make sure that everybody in the district was focused on that as a singular goal, making sure we focused on our kids and accelerating that learning. We're a district that has achievement that we're not satisfied with. We have some achievement gaps that we are not satisfied with. So we want to focus on those things and make sure that we are staying focused on how we address those particular issues, making sure we understand the issues of our community and come at those with the community as a partner.
Can you kind of tell us some of those issues that you might have run into already and that you definitely are making changes?
Well, one of the things that we did this year, we spent a period of time kind of going through the community and going through the district, trying to understand what some of the challenges were. After that period of time, we began a process where we restructured the resources of the district to create one central division of equity and learning, so that we had a division that was focused on not just instruction, but making sure our instruction was done through an lens of equity, make sure that we understood the particular needs of our students at each of our schools and try to address each of those needs in a more concise way and bring our resources as close and as tightly as possible to those students.
And being able to do that, and you've had a year of that experience, what was the results? What can you say that, is it working? Is there some things you need to kind of upgrade a little bit? Have you evaluated the entire change or the entire piece that you have had a chance to experience and investigate?
Well, that's one of those changes where it's turning the Titanic, right? We've been going through a process, and that change went live July 1st of this year.
Okay.
And so we'll really be implementing a lot of those processes and structures going into this school year. I think we'll see some changes as it relates to some of our high-priority schools that we in particular made a lot of focus on. We knew that we had particular challenges, and we spent some resources and targeted those things. I think we'll see quicker change in some of those places. But as a district, we'll see change over time. We're excited about the path that we're on towards that change.
And looking at all of that, let's kind of look at employment and teachers that's in the system that you feel that maybe need to go, put it like that, that have made this problem that we're faced with. Do you think that you're looking to bring new teachers in?
Well, when I think about our teachers, I think we are blessed with a group of people who want to be in a district like APS, who want to be in a district where we have a lot of students with need. And that's a wonderful opportunity. We're excited about that opportunity to work with folks. We all need to be at our best when we serve our students. We need to make sure that we've got systems in place and structures in place to make sure that if we're not at our best, then we find different resources or different folks to help us get there.
Well, I know you met Dr. Eric Nelson, who is a new school board member there, and he seemed to be a great guy. I know that we met him, and he's been involved with an organization that we put together over the past year. Well, actually, it started the half of the past school year of this past year. We had an opportunity to unite with over 250 black men who have gone to the public schools in the Denver community, all of the Denver public schools that we can think of, high, middle schools, and all of the other institutions that were available. And this year, we're looking to do Denver and Aurora. And Dr. Nelson had been a part of coming to those some of those gatherings that we've had and understanding. So I know his support will be there, and I want to find out your thoughts and your feeling and support about the 250 black men coming to Aurora, showing that we care and we support the idea of our kids getting a good education.
Well, I welcome the support of the community in a variety of forms. Dr. Nelson and I and all the members of the Board of Education have spent a lot of time talking about some of the inequities in our system, and also how can we bring more community members, more community engagement to the school system. And we've tried to engage with a variety of groups. We're happy to talk with other groups. We're happy to talk with other people who want to be a part of helping us to address those challenges in our system.
Well, we've had a very good impact in the Denver public school system this past year, the second half of the past year, and going and visiting the schools, and especially out of the 300 men that travels and go to these various schools, we have people that were in all professions, from doctors, lawyers, judges. You know, one of the things with black students and black kids is that it's kind of a problem because we don't see, or they don't see, or have not seen blacks in professions that they have some interest or want to be in. And that kind of is a hindering situation. And, you know, you talk about our kids being doctors and being lawyers, but being a black kid going to school, it's kind of tough for him to understand how that can be, because when he goes to the doctor, it's never a black doctor. He goes to the hospital, he very seldom see a black doctor. So it's kind of like, if you don't see, how can you really feel it's a possibility of happening, something that can happen in your life?
Oh, no, I certainly personally understand that, and I think a lot about that when I think about my son going up through school,
right,
and the things, the experiences that he has. We work very hard to try and put our students in situations where they can see role models, where they can see people like them having success and having experiences and have those relationships. We have a number of good community relationships with a couple of organizations that do that work. But we also want organizations that will come alongside our students and not just show that example, but be part of their lives, partner with their lives,
right,
and move through their life, move through that school system with them to help them grow and develop and build.
In your staffing and throughout the Aurora Public School system, what have you discovered the percentage of black teachers that are in the system, and making sure that we can get that type of exposure, because that too is where it starts, and that too is so important for our young people to understand and can relate to each other?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you the percentages of our teachers. I know the percentage of our students is about 18% are black.
Okay.
And we don't have, when we have nowhere near that percentage as it relates to our teachers. But we also have that challenge as it relates to the other. We're a very diverse district. We have a high Hispanic population. We have a significant refugee population and a significant immigrant population. And our teaching staff does not reflect those students that we serve. And that's something that we think about. How do we address that? How do we address that as we think about hiring? But also, how do we address that when we think about the understanding of our existing teaching staff? How do we address their cultural understandings of the students that are in front of them?
Well, I'd like to go to the point, will you have an open door for parents, teachers, and students when the problems or the things that occur? Are you basically, is your office open for people to come, and if they've got complaints and got concerns, to talk to you?
Well, I think the whole district is open, but what we ask people to do is first start with the school site, with the principal of their school, who's the one who's most familiar with their student and with the challenge they can face. Now, if they don't have success there, they certainly should talk to me or people in a position to address that concern. But I think one of the problems that we have is that if people too quickly try and jump to the superintendent or try to jump to the school board, they're not jumping to people who actually understand the situation, understand the student, and can help them most immediately.
Well, I know that that has been the policy throughout our system. You know, I've been in Denver for almost 50 years. I've seen the school system. I know the ups and downs. I know the things that we've gone through. But our rural public school system has been very much, I should say, acceptable. I'll put it like that.
Well, I understand.
Years.
I understand your family are Rangeview Raiders.
That's right. That's for sure. My daughter graduated. My granddaughter's getting ready to get in there. They're coming up next week. To be honest, you know.
We're excited to have her.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to the line right now, and now before we do that, let's pay a bill or two. Then we come back, and I'm going to be joined by my right hand, my eyes on the street. I'm talking about Brother Jeff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Hot Pants.
That sure was in the movie last night. Hot Pants. James Brown. The James Brown movie is out, everybody. We want you to definitely go and see it. And welcome back to Talking with yours truly, the Daddio, here on a Saturday evening. And we're just having a great time. And I'm very honored for my guest that I have with me now, a young man that we've been wanting to talk to, and definitely really happy and proud of his position. I'm talking about Superintendent Rico Munn, who is the superintendent of the Rural Public Schools, who we're talking to. And joining me right now is Brother Jeff. And I know he's got some interesting comments that he'd like to make and some questions to ask. So, Brother Jeff, good evening and welcome to Talking with the Good Doctor.
Daddio, simply an incredible show. And, you know, when you're talking about education, it's just something that's up all of our alley. And it's great to hear Dr. Rico Munn on the line. And congratulations on your position.
Brother Jeff, good to hear your voice. How you been?
I've been well. I want to ask, in terms of the achievement gaps that you had referenced, we all know that African Americans are often at the bottom of those achievement gaps. What are some tangible ways that you see in terms of closing that gap in the short term, even if that's possible?
Well, I think the most tangible things that we can do are try to identify where we are seeing those gaps materialize, in what particular places. And the earlier we can get interventions in those places, the better. We have some of those mechanisms in place. The realignment, restructuring I talked about will do a better job of addressing some of those mechanisms. So, for example, we had a very successful and robust truancy program throughout the district for the last several years. But our approach now is thinking about how can we get to those students sooner. Truancy means that you've been gone for a long time, really. But how do we get to you when you've been gone for a class period, when you've been gone for a day, instead of waiting until you've been gone for 10 days or whatever that period of time where you were officially truant. So those early interventions, and as quickly as we can get those resources and identify those students, the better. And that will help address some of those issues that relates to the achievement gap.
Do you think there's a way to connect with a continuance through that preschool programming that we heard earlier on the show and recognize that when young people are not prepared in kindergarten, certainly by the time they get into, their middle and high school ages, it's almost like a setup for, a setup for dissatisfaction, knowing that they're just not prepared to compete at those levels.
Well, I mean, education is like most things in life. The earlier, the better. We've recently expanded our early childhood opportunities. We just are opening and have our grand opening coming up for our Early Beginnings program, which is a program which services kids at 3 weeks of age. And they come in, and we can start then with some of our early childhood training. They can move then on to our child development centers and then eventually into our kindergarten. And the earlier we can get kids and the earlier we can assess and understand their challenges and bring resources to intervene in those challenges, the better.
Wow. And then just my final comment in terms of what we've been doing with Black men in support of education, and knowing that, you have a vision of every APS child doing well every day. We found that, as Black men, it's good for our community to see us in settings of high achievement, but we've been also very effective in showing teachers and administrators and, just people of other races and even other students who have never seen the achievement of Black men in a positive light. They usually have seen Black men through stereotypical images, messages, and mass media. And so I think that with us being visible in the school system, it not only encourages our community to do better, but it also dispels a lot of the myths surrounding us as Black men. And so I think that that's, one of the very important pieces that we're trying to show is that not just for our community, our success benefits everyone, and we want to continue to share that, and partner with you in that in the coming year.
Well, I appreciate that. I agree that visibility has high value, and that's why we talk about not just having that visibility, but that partnership, really coming alongside of our students and finding ways to mentor those students and mentor them through large groups, through small groups, and one-on-one as well.
I'd like to say that there was an organization called the Shades of Blue that is headed by Captain Willie Daniels, who is a United Airlines pilot. That program was in with Superintendent John Berry formerly, and he was very much supportive of that. Are you still in support of making sure that program continues on in the Aurora Public Schools and throughout the state of Colorado?
Yeah, no, we continue to support that program. In fact, recently I just asked our Director of Post-Secondary Workforce Readiness to be the point of contact with Shades of Blue, because when you think about the program and the work they're doing, it really aligns with what we're talking about, getting students to have that plan for the future and get those skills in place when you think about the future. So we're excited to have that as part of the district and part of the work that we do.
Well, that really works into the system because it is part of the STEM program. And I must say that Brother Daniels has been working on this for over 20-some years. And they're now opening up all of the branches and offices all over the country. In fact, just next week, they're getting ready to open, I think, up in Atlanta and Los Angeles. And over the 20-some years that he's been doing this, is people talking about STEM now. But this brother started this some 20-some years ago, and talking about the importance of blacks learning how to be pilots and flying planes and talking about becoming astronauts. I mean, he started this on KDKO with me with a program that we started and had for about 7 years. And looking at it today, I mean, it is just growing and growing like crazy. So I'm so happy to hear you say that you're in support of that, because Superintendent John Berry, I guess, was a pilot as well in his history of life, and he definitely understood the importance of the STEM program. Brother Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you, Daddio, I'm really excited about Aurora. When we think about the African-American, the black population, it's just booming out in Aurora. And Aurora is a growing place. And, I usually see a lot of motivated individuals, high-performing individuals, some great social civic organizations. And so, to continue to shine the light on Aurora and know that, our population is really leaving Northeast Denver, and it's moving eastward all the time. And so, we have always achieved at the highest levels, and we want to continue to make sure that wherever we end up and wherever we are, that we're recognized and we're a part of the community fabric, and making sure that, we're helping to make this society a better place and participating in it as well and benefit.
Well, Superintendent Munn mentioned a moment ago that the total population of the Aurora Public School System is about 18%. Well, you can get ready, because that's going to change. And that's why we were kind of asking about getting black teachers. I know you're going to be hiring. So it's very important that, we kind of look at that system and look at that. And we definitely want to make sure that, you lay that on the table and you do something about that problem or that situation.
Well, and Brother Jeff, one of the things that he said is incredibly true. We have a quickly growing district. Our demographics are quickly shifting, and we are trying to keep up with that shift and trying to keep up with that change. We're very excited about that change, because that diversity is a strength for us, and we're excited about that strength for our kids.
Well, we're so proud again to have you with us, and I know that there are some things that you would like to say and to the community, and let them know where you're coming from the office, and I'll give you a couple of minutes to kind of do that.
Well, it's always a dangerous thing to give a trial lawyer an open microphone, but
well, we know that you are not as a trial lawyer right now. You're representing the school system of Aurora Public School System as a superintendent.
Very true, and one of the reasons that I was very excited to take this position and to compete for this position is that. As coming from a legal background, I understand what it means to be an advocate, and I really want to be an advocate for these 40,000 kids in our community. But we need the community to come alongside us. We need to engage with the community, to be partners in our schools, to understand how how we can be partners, understand how we can share that decision-making and really try and shape the future for our kids. We want to make sure that each one of our kids has a plan for their future, that they have the skills that they need to execute upon that plan, and that we can get them a set of credentials that they need to open doors. Because those credentials are key, particularly in the African-American community understands that sometimes you need that piece of paper, that credential to open a door for you to get on to that next step. And so where we see ourselves in the school district, one of the highest forms of service that we can provide is making education that great equalizer to deal with some of the larger inequities in society. So we are very focused on our job. We're very focused on the understanding that our community needs us to do our job. And so we're very excited about the challenges before us.
Well, before you go, I just want to ask you then, are you the superintendent that will stand up and make sure that the buck stop at your office?
I am that superintendent.
All right. And we wish you the best and congratulations as Aurora Public Schools' new superintendent. And we thank you so very much for talking to me and Brother Jeff here today. And we look forward to seeing you on the air, talking to Dr. Daddio, giving your report every other month or whatever the case would be. And I'll stay in touch with Ms. Moon over there and making sure that we try to keep this thing lined up and making it happen. Do I get a yes on that?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here. It really is an honor, Dr. Daddio, having listened to you and enjoyed you for many years, and a chance to talk to Brother Jeff as well. I appreciate being here, and I'm excited about other opportunities to come back and talk.
Thank you so very much. And Brother Jeff, I know you feel the same way. Is that right?
Absolutely, and we're going to support this superintendent every way we possibly can, and just look forward to a partnership that is going to be for the benefit of all students every day in that APS system, and we can do nothing but win when we work together.
Well, that's it for today's show, my friends. Thanks for listening, and visit our advertisers. Stay tuned for the Weekend Wisdom Show with Marion and McGill right after the news. Go to church tomorrow. Give God some of your time. You're always welcome at Ebenezer Baptist Church at 4040 Quebec Street in the DoubleTree Hotel in Denver. Services starts at 12 noon, and our pastor is none other than Dr. Dwayne Moore. This is Daddio, and I'll see you next Saturday. And again, I give the salute to Dominique. We'll hook up next Saturday, brother. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. 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 Have a good